Hello everybody, TheSambasti here again. This time with part 2 of my 4-part FireFall tutorial series. So this is part 2, player versus environment, FireFall in the world basically. And for this part I'll just be going over the basic player environment stuff you need to know to be successful, some of the key locations in FireFall, and how not to totally suck, I guess. I mean, every tutorial does that, so it's kind of self-explanatory, but since this is a tutorial, yeah, that's the end goal, to make you better at this game. Anyway, as usual, I am recording this for the Limelight Esports channel. I do run Limelight Esports, but it is not my personal channel. That is something I do separate from my personal stuff. So if I also do like FireFall casting, and I have some normal gameplay videos up. So if you're interested in seeing those, do head to my personal channel. It's /TheSambasti with an A, because with it, the A being a 4, the first A being a 4, because there's only one A. But the point is, I screwed up making the YouTube account, and I accidentally deleted the other account, which means the actual name is gone. But I digress. That's completely irrelevant at this point. Anyway, so basics of FireFall PvE. In FireFall PvE, the first place you're going to be is Copacabana. This is where you spawn, and it's also really the center point of all your world-related activities in FireFall. With some new patches, people have actually spread out a lot more due to these world events that you can see around me. But pre-patch, this patch happened I think this Monday. Pre-patch, there actually wasn't too much to do outside of areas around Copacabana. So the reason Copacabana is your center point is because Copacabana has everything you need for your PvE world. It has the Red5 store, Luau Larry. Here you can buy things for red beans, aka real money. A lot of these things are pretty cool, and as you can see from the store, I've bought a lot of them. This place also has has a battle frame switcher and multiple battle frame garages. These are the most central ones. The new U one is your character creation screen, but these are the most central ones because they're close to one of the most important things in FireFall, the crafting station. This is the molecular printer. And for now, all you need to know really is that there is one here, and it is right here on the map. And exactly how to use it and what it does is going to be for part 4. So besides that, Copacabana is one of your central points, not just because of the manufacturing station, but also because it is the chain of the first quest. So the first quest chain happens in Copacabana. Now that's not too much of a problem for you as a new player, because if you've already booted up the game, you're already in that quest chain. Since you start in Copacabana, you get that quest right away. And a bit about doing those quests. Really, they'll give you instructions. The only important thing you need to know is if you hit N, you can see on the right, it brings up your notification screen. And I can use that to dock and undock different quests. Now right now my only quest is this Broken Shores Synop link, which I'm pretty sure is bugged out because, at least as of last patch, I haven't checked on the new patch. It's actually possible to actually use that Synop link and complete the quest, which is why I still have it. Anyway, so you'll very quickly go through Copacabana and what you did in Copacabana, at which point you'll probably get bored in the sense that there's really not much else to do in Copacabana. So what we're going to do now is we're going to head over and I'm going to show you the second important town, and currently really the only other important town in FireFall. This is set to change very much in the next few patches, but it's still set, it's still likely that TransHub Command is going to be one of the main hubs of FireFall, one of the biggest cities. TransHub Command, this area, is the center of the second quest chain in FireFall. So after you complete the first one, you can either start doing some PvP, some PvE, or you can head there. So that's what we're going to do right now, and yeah, all you really have to do is follow these roads. You can set yourself a waypoint on the map by opening the map and pressing actually where you want to go. Then you can hit set waypoint and hit M again to close the map. So now I have this neat waypoint on the center of my screen towards TransHub Command. Fortunately, I've been there before, I know my way around, so I'm just going to follow the roads. Because, well, roads are nice, especially when you have an LGV. At the making of this video, the LGV still is not craftable. But according to Grums, it is a priority to get that done at some point. No specific dates have been mentioned yet, but hey, it'll happen. and odds are by the time you see this video, it might have happened already. So anyway, I'm here now, haphazardly driving through the streets of Transhub Command, and yeah, this is Transhub Command. So this is their central big city. Now, I'm not sure if this is still the case, because I have not made a new character in a while, since that would require me wiping this character. But you may actually have to go to this Sin Tower and uplink. But with the Chosen Warfront, there's the possibility that this is no longer the case. So I can't tell you for certain. The Chosen Warfront has changed the way the town system works considerably. There's a lot more Sin Towers, there's a lot more Sin Radii. But either way, either when you go into the area of Transhub Command or when you hook up to the Sin Tower, you're going to get your Transhub Command quest chain. And that's not really a problem, because obviously that'll give you all the instructions you need to actually complete the quests. Besides that, some of the highlights of Transhub. This is where you'll spawn near Transhub if you die. And right outside is your battle frame station, your battle frame garage, and your manufacturing station. Now, battle frame garages are fairly common, and battle frame stations are even more common. But manufacturing stations, the molecular printers, are a lot harder to come by, so it's worth noting that that there are molecular printers in Copacabana and in Transhub, because if you find yourself over here, like on this corner of the world, you're actually probably going to have to travel all the way over to, I believe, Transhub or Copacabana to manufacture. I won't say for certain that there are no other molecular printers, but if my memory serves me correct, at least at this very moment, there are not. So remember that this is all information that's completely dependent on which patch we're on. This is the patch that introduced the player versus environment spontaneous events, so like the portable antennas, the acolytes, and the crashed LGV. So if we're on a patch after that, which we probably will be by the time you see this video, there's a good chance that this is not going to be completely up to date. I will remake this video at some point, but for now you'll have to do with this. So we know where we are. We know where we're going. We know what we can do. So the next thing we have to really worry about is thumping. Thumping is the most quintessential FireFall PvE activity. It's the first activity of the game, actually, at the first PvE activity, and it's still one of the most fun ones. So the way you thump is, it'll largely be explained to you in the actual tutorial, in the actual first quest chain, so complete that. And afterwards, I believe you should get a scan hammer key. So when you want to go thumping, you just keep scan hammering, discover where you can and cannot thump, and eventually you'll come up on a spot that's not in a cord restricted zone and that actually has resources in it. So if we keep going here, eventually we should hit one. Because we are steadily going further and further away from Transhub Command. So if we go here, we are now outside of Transhub Command, but we cannot find any resources. We're just going to keep looking for a little bit, see if we can come up with something. I don't want to spend the next half an hour looking for resources and looking for a great thumping spot and dragging out this tutorial, so actually this looks good. This is not the highest amount of resource you could get. About half the materials that you are going to acquire from thumping here are going to be useful, but finding more can often be difficult, so it's not always worth it. You have to find the balance between finding more resources and doing this. So be careful, because if you stand in this red circle, the thumper will kill you. It's just something new players tend to discover the hard way. I actually learned it the hard way as well. This does lead to the fun thing you can do where you can actually kill mobs by dropping thumpers on them. It's quite a fun game. Anyway, the moment your thumper drops down, it is going to start collecting resources. But in the process, it's going to make a ton of noise. This noise is going to attract the local wildlife. And believe me, it's not friendly. So as you can see, this thumper is already getting swarmed. So you can defend this thumper, and you should defend it for as long as possible. Right now, the amount of resources you get scales linearly with how long you thump. But I know there are plans to make it parabolic, which means that if you thump 10%, you'll only get maybe, I don't know, 1% of the good resources. So basically, the idea being that the good resources come later, which gives you an extra incentive to keep the thumper up longer. Right now, going to 10% twice is the same as going to 20% once, and it's not as difficult, so they want to change that. Anyway, so we're thumping here, and things start to go haywire. We're being swarmed by enemy mobs. We aren't actually being swarmed by enemy mobs. but we could be if I had dropped an advanced thumper. So what you'll want to do is if the thumper takes too much damage, you'll want to hold E on the thumper and call it up. Call it up. It's going to start closing. The mobs are going to stop spawning. I do believe it can still be killed in this state. Not in this one anymore because it's jetting off. But you do not want to wait until it's at 1%. There is an achievement for that, but it's high risk. Anyway, now I've gained some resources from my thumper, from that thumping adventure, and now I'm a little bit richer. And later, eventually, I can use those resources in crafting. So next, really the other major activity at the moment is the Chosen War. So as you can see on this map, there's Chosen drop pods and Chosen territory all over the map. These Chosen have been conquering the map for quite some time. Players stopped paying attention a little bit this morning, I guess, and now they're all over the place. So, when Chosen take over a city, you can no longer use those cities' resources. And right now, that's not quite as critical, because there really aren't that many resources in a city. But as the game expands, it's going to become more and more important, which means you have a direct incentive to stop them. So, you'll see the indicators of the Chosen War all over the map, and any Chosen icon on your mini-map is likely to be from this Chosen War. So we're just going to head over here and help the Chosen War by helping destroy this drop pod, which has basically already been done for us. We basically kind of just stole the kill there. But, as you can see, there's still some Chosen that spawn from this drop pod. Drop pods, you can attempt to attack on your own. In the past, they were actually fairly easy to solo, but more Chosen will spawn from the drop pod, which means at this point it is a high-risk endeavor, so do it only if you know what you're doing. But besides that, if there's too many Chosen drop pods in an area, they're going to start spreading. And they're going to form Chosen incursions. There aren't any on the map right now, but you'll know them if you see them. Those have a bunch of Chosen, and you don't even want to go near them if you're alone. More so, Chosen from drop pods will travel to nearby watchtowers in nearby cities and try to conquer them. For example, they've conquered Broken Shores here. The cities do have actual Chosen guards, but they're pretty much useless. So you're going to have to protect these watchtowers if you want to keep using their spawning capabilities and their resource capabilities. So, we're going to do a public service now and head over to one of these drop pods. And we are going to try to save it. This is not going to work. So, as you can see, there's not really a road to go here. So I'm going to use my elite red bean purchases and actually drop a glider pad and fly there. So now we're heading towards this obstacle. The Chosen War really is probably set to be more important as it is now. It's still in a fairly early testing stage as of the making of this video. So right now, it's not too big of a deal to lose a watchtower or any of that. But like I said, it's going to become more important later. When you do try to retake a watchtower, once the Chosen own the watchtower, they actually own it. So much like you spawn inside the watchtower, the Chosen will spawn inside of it too. So you're going to have to take the capture point and then defend it for as long as possible. Where we're heading right now, actually, I believe, is not a well, no, I know it's not a watchtower, but this is actually a town, which means that unlike the watchtower, you don't just have to redirect its security towards your side. You actually have to call down a beacon and defend it. This is a lot more like a Chosen incursion than a watchtower, and even at a watchtower, you really can't solo. So odds are we're not going to be able to save this on our own. We're probably going to die in the process here, especially since I'm running a tier 1 battle frame right now, and don't have nearly as much power as I ordinarily would. But we are going to go in here commando style and see what we can accomplish. Interestingly, there's actually Accord guards over here that seem to have glitched out. So far, there's no Chosen in sight, but once we activate this uplink beacon, you can see in the corner over here there's actually Chosen already. It's going to attract quite a few Chosen, as you can see. Holy crap, that's a lot of them over there. So we're going to piss these guys off right now, because they're headed over here anyway. So we're just going to start raining down damage. And these guys are probably going to stop us. As you can see, look, a Chosen drop pod just spawned right now. The Chosen have detected that we are retaking this city, and they're going to do whatever they can to stop this. We still have to defend this for a minute and 35. So really, our best shot, almost, is to keep these Chosen from getting up here in the first place. But as you can see, this place has HP. So once the Chosen get here, they're just going to tear it apart. And honestly, there's not too much we can do about it. They're already raining damage down from the top, I believe. Yeah, they're coming down this hillside. I'm going to get ready. I'm going to jet out of here the moment it gets too hairy. There's really not much of a choice we have. And the Juggernauts have arrived, meaning we are now having artillery rain down on us. So, like I said, if we're lucky, the Chosen pathfinding glitches and they do not make their way up here in time to actually stop this capture. But, as you can see, we are being attacked by a small army at the moment, and we are completely alone. I actually really love this aspect of the game. In the past, the Chosen were very static and very boring. And now this is actually a war. I'm having an Alamo-style last stand against an encroaching army. And you can just see the bullets flying across the world. Ah, crap, I got hit in the face just now. 20 more seconds. The thing is, even if this respawns, the only thing defending it is Accord guards, and believe me, they're not going to hold out very long. I believe there is actually going to be a grace period, and that's basically our only shot. Okay, 8 seconds left. Odds are we're going to make this. But getting out of here is going to be a problem because there's actually Chosen above us at this point, so I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do then. Anyway, we've successfully defended this, which means now, dropping in from the sky, is a Sin Beacon. There we go. It's calling down. And we are back in business. So we've retaken the city. A bunch of Scards have now spawned, and now there's an actual battle going on. Because there's still a bunch of Chosen over here from that drop pod that was killed earlier. So we're gonna just try to help out these Accord soldiers a little bit, and see if we can do something about this. Because like I said, the Accord soldiers are pretty much useless, and although this looks like a fairly even fight, there's actually Chosen on top as well, and in a one-on-one fight, I do believe a Chosen beats an Accord soldier any day. I would almost say that a Chosen beats 2 Accord soldiers. So, anyway, that's actually all for this video. This is the basics of PvE. I guess I should briefly mention there are other events around the world. I'm not going to go into those in specific because they are generally self-explanatory. And if you click on one of them and set your waypoint towards them, you'll actually get the sin information you need to actually complete the event. So they'll tell you what you have to do. So just enjoy those events around the world. There'll probably be more, so even if I covered them in this video, it wouldn't help you much. And I'll see you guys for part 3.